welcome to a new video. Taking out the Honda Navi, which has over 1,200 miles now. So I've put, it's been less than a year since I've had it, so I put all these miles on it in 1 year, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that have hit way more than that. I'm taking this out on a Saturday. It's about 50 degrees out. Figure I'd take it for a ride, catch some video, try to take it somewhere I haven't been on the exact route before, because right now I'm going towards Poplar Level Road, and I know that I've gone before straight, going towards the kind of fairgrounds, Kentucky Kingdom type area, where those are, and I've gone right, which goes down towards, eventually turns into Goss Avenue in Germantown. So I've gone straight, and I've gone right. This time I'm going to turn left. So this is Trevilian Way at Poplar Level Road. And this is a direction I don't think I've recorded video going this way before. I'm trying not just to record videos going in the same directions on the same roads all the time, because it's usually not all that eventful. As always, it's relatively windy. And this bike doesn't come stock with any type of windshield or anything. And there's a smaller one you can get for it, but I don't know it's actually going to do a whole lot because it doesn't go up very far. So if the purpose is to keep it on my face, and if I record videos to have it not be so loud, I don't know that it's really going to do much. I don't know, for a while they were kind of hard to come across, so I hadn't really looked into one all that hard. Yeah, so this is Poplar Level Road. It's about, oh, there's a dog. Hopefully their owner is nearby. But yeah, about to cross past where the Waterson Expressway, I-264, where the ramps for that are, going in both directions, in east and west. So I don't actually spend all that much time on Poplar Level Road on the other side of the expressway in the direction I'm going. Usually I'm going down towards the Goss Avenue area, because if you go that way you will pass Sanex. It's through their private high school. There's some restaurants and stuff, and doctor's offices and hospitals and such. And then you eventually get to Eastern Parkway, and then the other side of Eastern Parkway is Goss Avenue, which is Germantown, which is a popular neighborhood in the area. Yeah, and then you can also, off of Poplar Level Road, if you turn onto Trevilian, you can access the Louisville Zoo. And then down in that general area, there's the Louisville Mega Cavern, which is an underground cave where they have, I think there's BMX stuff for bikes, and they'll do lights under Louisville, where they have lights turned on, you can drive through. Red light. Well, that luckily was not a very long light. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff off of Poplar Level Road. This is the site I don't go through all that often. road is relatively grooved. It's kind of windy, so I wasn't feeling super in control of the bike here in a section just a second ago, but it is a downside of a bike being as small as this one is that you will frequently hit heavy enough wind that it can kind of blow you around. And recently we had the windstorm where it was, super windy, blowing trees and stuff down. I definitely would not want to have been on a motorcycle that day, especially one that's relatively light. I mean, or any of them in general. It's just way too windy, but this is where the speed limit on this road is 40. You can comfortably ride along on a road that has a speed limit of 40 on the Navi because you can almost always do more than that. It's just one of those things where if during midday traffic, if everybody likes to do significantly more than the speed limit, you may not have enough power. And I just kind of decided on the route while I was on the bike. I went and got some gas and then just took off and tried to figure out where to go. So I did not map out an extensive route of where all this is going. Very windy. And this is a lot of, different cities. Like, this is a stretch where it's all pretty much just road, an industrial area with stuff off the road, and then you have some kind of strip malls and restaurants and what have you, and there's, suburbs and neighborhoods off of the road. But this is not, this stretch of road really isn't comparable to something like Shelbyville Road, where you have a couple malls and Apple Store and all that stuff. Not very walkable like the stretch of Bardstown Road by all the bars. This is something where I don't know how well it shows up on the GoPro, and especially depending on the compression. But this road, even though it's flat ground, it's got a lot of grooves in it. It's kind of textured. And with this Navi having such small wheels and tires, if you get in one of those grooves, it can make it feel like it's kind of forcing you to go a certain way, which I am not really a fan of. drive through this neighborhood. Yeah, again, I don't know how clear it is, how apparent it is in the video. But, you know, it's pretty flat asphalt. There weren't huge potholes for the most part, but there were a lot of grooves in it, and then your tire gets in the groove and it wants to go in the direction the groove's in more so than where you're trying to go. And then that combined with the kind of heavy wind, I mean, I don't think I was at risk of crashing or anything. It's just one of those things where it kind of feels like it takes the control a little bit away from the rider. It's just kind of a little small U-shaped neighborhood that comes back out to the road. So what I might do here is turn left and go through one of these neighborhoods. And since the speed limit is 40, I'm not darting out here in front of people. Yeah, so there's different types of things that the Navi is not going to be a fan of. So huge potholes, obviously, for any motorcycle aren't fun, then especially when you have a little bit smaller wheel and tire combo. You know, roads where the speed limit's faster than the bike can maintain. Yeah, so roads that go faster than you can really handle on this bike are not fun. Too strong, when you get wind that's way too strong, it's not all that fun. So I'll turn up here on one of these streets pretty soon. Alright, and motion again. There's liquor stores, kind of these strip mall type places that aren't as common anymore. Stuff that's probably built in the 80s or 90s. Not sure where that goes. And then through this area, it looked like there were a number of ethnic grocery stores. There's some gas stations and stuff. There's been a few automotive places, repair shops. I'm not sure if that is an adult entertainment establishment over there or not, the Pussycat Lounge. It kind of sounds like it. Go this way. Yeah, but I think a lot, like, what's funny is a lot of America is probably more resembling this than a lot of what you see in, TV and movies in New York and LA or Chicago or what have you. Just a lot of roads with stuff on it, where the purpose is to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. There's a lot of kind of warehouse shipping things down through here. This is produce lane. Oh shit. I was not expecting someone to pass me to get to the freaking red light. The speed limit's 35. I was doing around that a little bit more, but of course they had to get to the red light ahead of me. And it's so windy, I didn't really hear them until they were right next to me. This is one of those scenarios where the Navi, the speed limit on this road is 35 miles per hour. So I'm able to do that, but people are doing more than that, and they will pass you unsafely. And since it's so windy, I don't really feel comfortable pushing this bike all that hard in terms of turning. Yeah, so now I'm back in Bugel heading towards Bardstown Road. These are areas that I've gone through before in other videos. Because I did a video where I went through Hikes Lane, which we just, if you keep going straight, it'll go to Hikes Lane, I believe, but so this is all routes I've gone through before. Guess I'll go this. I'll go this way instead of Bardstown Road. But yeah, so this is the kind of route that, depending on how traffic is and how the wind is, the Navi can feel a little bit unsafe. But not because of anything the bike is doing, just the fact that, if it's super windy, it's able to be pushed around by the wind. And if it's, speed limit 35 or 40 and you're doing the speed limit, if not a little bit more, people tend to like to go faster by quite a bit. And people will pass you somewhat unsafely. So there's that to think about. If you're looking at one of these smaller bikes like the Navi or any of the Honda Mini Motos that would have a speed limit that tops out around the same, I think you do have to think about the roads you'll take most frequently, because if I had to go from my house down to somewhere off Produce Lane or Poplar Level Road on this thing, and that was like my job, and that's where I had to go every day in rush hour traffic in the morning and afternoon, I may not really feel all that safe taking this. I mean, I know that there are people that take less powerful scooters and mopeds than this every single day. Just, if I'm the one in control of my decisions and I have adequate finances and vehicles, I would probably not want to do that every single day. So I think the Navi is much more fun cruising and going through, neighborhoods, or I've done videos where I've gone through downtown Louisville or the Highlands, and I think it's, better suited to stuff like that versus top speed 50 miles per hour roads. And it's very fun for the purposes of just cruising around. Like I said, I just don't know that I personally would want to be dealing with traffic conditions where you're just, doing quite a bit less speed than everyone else around you. I'm sure people will be like, oh, that's weak. I mean, I've ridden this in, different times of day in different places where I was like, oh man, I don't know. But if, it's an everyday decision where I have the choice and I do have a car, I probably wouldn't do that every day. Yeah, but so streets like this, where you're back in neighborhoods, this is much more the specialty of this, mini moto than the larger industrial roads where people go a lot faster. But yeah, so I was taking the Honda Navi out. It's got a little over, it's got 1,250 miles on it, so it's got, some miles on it. Taking it out in a 50-degree day, didn't have too much trouble getting it started. Just had to use the choke a little bit and got it going. But yeah, so that was taking the Honda Navi out, took it down through Poplar Level Road, and then to Produce Lane. And then now I just turned off a Hikes Lane into Furman, which is a side street that goes between Hikes Lane and Taylorsville Road. But yeah, that'll wrap it up for this time. Later.